Hello and welcome into the channel. This is Paramay Trades. This is Paramay's Trade Journal. We're going to take a look at the CoT Report Friday Roundup edition for currencies. The date is 4/17. It's Friday. Getting a little late in the evening. I want to get the weekend kicked off here by doing the currencies report for commercial interests. Large hedgers. And I just wanted to let you all know that we've got a Discord community group, so if you want to come in and chat with us, and that we will also be looking at some charts too. So I know we've got this boring report in front of you, and we're all interested to look at the charts. So we do have the data loaded from from this Friday report, sitting over in our TOS indicator because we use the Thinkorswim platform. So let's hop into it. So we're looking at the top of the chart, or the top of the report today. I'm going to take a peek at currencies. One that I've been following this week is the Mexican peso. So again, if you're new to the channel, swing traders like to look at the 6-month index. It's a little bit more responsive than the 3-year index. So when we see anything up over 80%, we know that commercial interest is taking some relatively positive outlook, or holding net long positions. Anything over 80 is pretty bullish. Anything under 20% is pretty bearish. So positive outlook, negative outlook. So Mexican peso sitting at the top again, one that I've been following this week on the 6-month index, and it looks like the 3-year index is up over 80% too. So anything boasting 100% is setting new highs for net long positions. So we've got both the Canadian dollar and the Mexican peso up at 100, and the euro dollar and the US index, US dollar index, up over 80%. We've had some shift in sentiment on the Australian dollar, not nearly as bullish as it was 5 weeks prior. And then we get the middle ground here, the New Zealand dollar, something that I wasn't watching this week. Well, I'm not going to watch this week. Middle ground, not going to play it. Looks like the British pound is starting to shift sentiment a little bit here, but not tremendously. So maybe in the next few weeks on the British pounds. But if you play that, maybe it's worth a look. But getting bearish here on the Japanese yen. That's something to take a look at this week as well. Looks like the Swiss franc is also holding pretty bearish. Haven't looked at that chart this week. Not going to watch it probably. I think these are the top two that I probably want to play right now. I mean, if you're ultra bear and you want to play the bottom of this currency list, then these are the ones you probably want to look at. Euro FX looking still pretty bearish. So we'll be looking at that. Did have a nice little bit of a rebound this week, so let's go upcoming week on the top two for sure. I want to play these. Euro dollar I don't usually play. Euro FX I do, but I don't usually play the euro dollar, so I'm not going to watch it. It's a funny chart. I'm just not interested in it. And if you played the dollar index, one to watch this week too. So Australian dollar getting worth a look if it's gonna come down off the highs here. So we'll see. So something we've been doing differently for the last couple of weeks, is just breaking these down, looking at these, the markets individually. So, and what we'll do here, just to keep the videos a little bit short and sweet, so that we can get through this and look at least a couple of charts, is we'll look at the top two and we'll look at the bottom two, at least for charting. So we'll look at the Euro FX. Maybe we'll take a peek at the Swiss franc, and I want to look at the peso and the Canadian dollar again. So let's just bring up our 3 chart. Looks like I was looking at gold just recently. So let's just take a quick peek at the Mexican peso. I've been charting this quite regularly. So we did like this W pattern. That was working out for us. And what do we got going on here? didn't quite, it didn't get as bullish as we want. It did retrace a little bit, but let's just look at this value range and see if we're sitting around 50%. Yeah, I mean, it looks like we're sitting around this 50% range, so it might be getting ready to bust higher. So let's just break out, our weekly chart, our number 2 chart. Just take a look at what the Mexican peso is doing. Yeah, so I mean, looks like we broke the uptrend channel, broke out of this value range, a little bit of a dip and then a return. So if you caught the short here for a quick scalp, it looked pretty good, but this looks like it's starting to break to the upside again. So this is definitely something I'm going to be watching in the upcoming week, because I think that this is bottom, and we had a nice little pattern going on here with a higher low, a lower low, and a higher low here. So this may maintain. I mean, this is really looking like a bottoming pattern on the Mexican peso. So I'm looking for some retrace to the upside. We're almost just about tagged at 50% retrace from the bottom, and this impulse move up. That'll look pretty good. It looks like this chart's getting pretty bullish, in my opinion. And we've looks like we lost this support area, but looks like they're trying to regain it. So something to watch out for this week. I'm still bullish on the Mexican peso in the upcoming week. I like it. I like the chart. This was not a very strong breakdown. It only retraced probably less than 50%. So I think this has got some upside to it. Something to watch, Mexican peso. What else were we looking at here? Canadian dollar. And that's one I didn't pay attention to this week. I do apologize for that, but I generally like to produce some charts during the week, but I was just in the middle of moving. Oh, okay, so this is our look from last week. Well, it looks like it maintained a pretty decent uptrend. This did not collapse. I mean, this looks like a strong chart. So just looking at where our commercial interest is, they're up in this bullish range. They're not letting up. We like this this look again, diminishing or relatively low open interest, and oh well, lo and behold, last week we said on the currency charts, we're not really, wouldn't be a buyer up here. We'll probably wait till it retraces a little bit and then take off to the races. So it looks like we got just that. A little bit of a dip on the WPR, and this is a better place on a bullish chart, I think, to start taking a long position if this gets a little bit of a dip and comes back off the overbought territory. So this is looking pretty good, I think. Canadian dollar is something to watch. And we said previously, or at least last week, that we liked that market sentiment was relatively low. So this has got some room to the upside to go, and I think this is a bullish chart. I like this. What do we see on the 1 hour? Well, we were hoping that it broke to the upside, but it didn't. A little bit of a breakdown. Let's just clear this out. We like to play the channels. But finding a little bit of trouble getting back up into this channel. Hanging out at the -2.5 coefficient. A little bit of difficulty, getting back up over that value high range, but we're right back in here. We're right back in this range. So we have a little bit of excess trading, above the range, but we're back in here. I think this can break up. This did not break down tremendously. This is, for weeks of trading, this looked pretty good. I mean, do we have a nice little pivot working for us too? It does look like it. It does look like we have a nice, swing low. A short-term low pivot here. We get your higher lows, your higher low, your lower low, and your higher low. So that's good. This is trying to break back out of here, break back up into this channel. So not a bad place to be a buyer on a bullish chart if we think commercial interest is going to take this the other way. I think the chart looks good. So yeah, Canadian dollar, another one I think we're probably going to pay attention to this week. Right. So Canadian dollar, Mexican peso, two really good ones. If you play the dollar, I mean, I don't play the dollar index. I probably should, but I don't. So let's pull back up this. Take a look at the dollar. So, what did the dollar do this week with all this, economic news and what have you? I mean, commercial interest looking pretty. What are they? Right about 80%? Why is this not extended? It must be right on that line, huh? Just about 80%. Well, it's still looking pretty good from a commercial interest standpoint. Still pretty bullish, but can it come down a little bit? I don't know. U.S. economy looking to attempt to reopen here, but not a lot of movement going on in this chart this week. Where do we open up here on the 7th? A little bit of retrace and a bounce, so are we range bound for a little bit? Looks like it. Looks like we're a little bit range bound here in this value area. So got your value high, got your value low, and it looks like we're right about in the 50% range. I would be cautious of a swing high. I would take out this high here and come back down, take out the lows. Not interested in playing this chart, but it looks pretty stable in this range for the moment. So, maybe you get short up over the high and into this cluster of trading. Comms are bullish. Comms are bullish here. Is there a fair amount of trading around this 50% range? It looks like it. Or this 50% area. It looks pretty much like a range bound chart. Nothing exciting, I don't think. Not playing it myself, but I would look to be short up in here with a target of the range low, of the value range low. That's all I gotta say about the dollar. It's getting late. It's getting late in the night. Let's take a look at two on the bottom here. Euro FX. I wish I was playing it this week. It's a pretty decent price movement. I was not optimistic that this was going to, peel to the upside, but a lot of stagnation going on with the dollar too. So, and my favorite thing to do, which is move open interest off of my chart. Thank you, TOS. I mean, comms really not given anything here. Not given any indication that this is going higher. I'm not very optimistic about the Euro FX. So, do you want to play this chart to the downside? Because you think this is going to come down a little bit more? I mean, comms are they're not showing us anything. They're pretty bearish here. Market sentiment really just not helping us out in terms of extremes. It's just kind of flatlining here. Comms are bearish. What's our lower times frame look like? It's just trying to break out of this downtrend channel, and this was a more significant, I feel like, retrace than a couple of the currencies that we were looking at. So retrace was about 75% or more, 70-80% more. So I mean, that was a nice dump. So if you caught the short, we were looking for the short opportunity here, right in this area, and it looks like it. looks like it played out pretty well for the short scalp. So, and now we just, kind of same thing as the U.S. dollar, just kind of sitting a little bit in this range to work with. I'll just clean some of this up a little bit. Trying to break out. Why don't we come down, again, a nice pivot going for us. If it wants to break higher, I would like to see a higher low form, maybe somewhere in this range to take a long scalp somewhere, at least up into this resistance area. But a nice downside move if you caught this, break of the zero coefficient, and then just a bust of the -2.5, and away we went. Came up, retest, nice technical test into this resistance area, and it was a nice play to the downside. So that's EuroFX. That's the bottom of our list, right? We'll take a quick look at this Swiss franc, just because I haven't looked at this chart in a while. I thought that this finished pretty well this week, but not much going on. Had nice. We busted out. I think we talked about this, last week. Well, it's a nice build up and a break of the zero coefficient, and we get up over the -2.5, and there we go. And it was a nice long play. It's nice to be in there. It's nice to be in this trade. So what are we working with now? So could you have found the short scalp? Was this a nice point of control area? Let's get this channel redrawn here, just so that we can get a pretty decent point of control. A little bit of excess trading going on. I mean, this is probably the indication that this wanted to move down a little bit. Well, shooting started up here. Not a very pretty W pattern look for a break, and this is, which is probably not why I'm not going to play this chart, but a little bit of whipping, a little bit of excess trading going on outside the channel. It doesn't, not a very strong uptrend, but we'll see if this is on the the -2.5 here. Yeah, right up against that -2.5, so maybe we get a break, some kind of a retest of this area, and maybe we can come up and challenge these shorts. But better buying opportunities probably exist on the bottom half of this. I mean, if you're a breakout trader, maybe you can get in on this. But me personally, I'm probably going to wait for like a pullback. Just not very optimistic on the Swiss franc. And there's that channel that we were, there's this value range that we were talking about previously. Here's where all the shooting started with the, the coronavirus and this, that, and the other thing, and the market's going haywire. And, right back in that range again. So, don't know if I want to be a buyer up in here. I do like that open interest is so darn low here. WPR creeping up and market sentiment really, really low. We have a tendency to think rally, but I would really have liked to have seen commercial interest move up a little bit and get off their bearish temperament. And bottom of this range probably better be a buyer. I really don't know what the Swiss franc is going to do. I mean, this is just, it looks a little bit like the dollar. It looks a little bit like, we're just kind of in a range of trading that I just don't know if I'm interested in playing. Because there's so much better charts. You get a little access to the downside when we come up and retest this and test it again. I mean, we tested 1, 2, a few times on the 1 hour chart, but Yeah, I mean, play the the range low and then and the range high here. I don't know. I don't know if I'm a buyer here. I want to be a buyer in this area. I don't feel like it. I don't think so. It's something to watch, even though, because I do like these two things, but I like them when comms are getting bullish. I just don't like them where they are right now. Even if we were, somewhere up near the 50% range in the 6-month index, I mean, I would think that this maybe had some upside to it, but could just be, stagnant trading a little bit through this, but scalp low and low to high, and maybe that's what you work with. Oh, all right. Okay, today. That's it. That's it for currencies. I wanted this to be short, and it's nice and short and sweet at a whopping 20 minutes. So, oh, maybe next time. Yeah, sorry if that's what I'm looking at this week. Mexican peso, Canadian dollar. If I'm going to play two currencies, those are the two I'm going to be playing. Absolutely. Euro FX, I mean, I always play the Euro FX. And that looks, it's a decent trade, but I think if the dollar stays stagnant and just trade sideways, then you know find some value high and some value low ranges to work with, and happy scalping. In terms of long positions on the Euro FX or short positions, for a day trader, it's probably get your scalps on. Anyways, that's currencies. CoT Report Friday edition. Hope you find yourself on the profitable side of the trade, and we'll see you again on the next video.